Hello, VC. VC video. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Well, as you know by now from the title, this is a sort of alternative vinyl record tag 2024. As some of you might remember, in 2 years ago, I did the vinyl tag for 2022, I believe. Yeah. And someone else did it at the same time. It was a little bit of a miscommunication, but whatever. It was fun to do. And last year I didn't care too much for it. I let the people do what they do organically. And this year, like right the second we reached this new year, 2024, the new vinyl tag was on. Very much prepared and curated, and maybe a little too much, because I got a bunch of people who contacted me and asked me, aren't you gonna do a vinyl tag again like you did? It was good. Nah, no. And then more people asked me in the past 3 days. So Alex, Dom, and a bunch of others, there you go. The vinyl tag 2024, the alternate take, a little more compact. So let's get right into it. Show the longest vinyl record quest you finally achieved in 2023. For me, that would be this Telectu, on-off, a Portuguese band with this incredible silk screen jacket. Like the whole package is to die for. With really cool inserts as well. It's Portuguese kind of fourth world, post-industrial, minimalist record from a band that I've been obsessed with for a long time, but the records were very difficult to find, often too expensive for me. And yeah, this year I got a decent deal, not the best possible deal, but still I could do it, and I was happy. And so that was my longest quest since I've been after that record for probably around since 20 years now, because I was aware of it and first heard it in 2004. So a 20-year long quest that came to a fantastic end. Next, show the best deal you got in 2024. This is an artist I was aware of before, that I had one album from, that I purchased 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. It was an artist I was unsure he was for me, because he's an artist before being a musician. And sometimes these people can be interesting, and even if they are in a genre or in a scene that is adjacent to what you're listening to, is it something that you're gonna really enjoy? Well, I did get another record of his this year, and realized, yes, this is something for me. And one of his most incredible releases, and really difficult to find, Hermann Nietzsche, Requiem für meine Frau Beate. 3 LP box set. Absolutely stunning, with a booklet depicting the art of Hermann Nietzsche, the Vienna actionist painter, multimedia artist, and musician. This is fantastic performance of organ, drone, from I believe 1980, maybe 79. And this is a record that I think they did 300 copies of it. This is a really, really expensive record. And as I was getting really into him, I saw there was a copy with best offer on Discogs, and I made a lowball offer. And surprisingly, the person who was selling was kind of aware of my channel, and he's a musician, and he made me a really, really, really good deal. I paid like 30% of what it usually goes for at the normal price. So that was fantastic. Next, show a record from a band, from a brand new band or artist that you got in 2023, or the closest to it if you didn't get an artist who has never released anything before 2023. So this artist has released one EP in 2022. This is Tumba on the amazing Hessel Audio label. Tumba is an artist from Jordan, and I don't know what to say more about him than well, he's from Amman, the capital of Jordan, and he's taken the club world by storm, at least the club world I'm interested in, which is a more left field side of it. His music is a sort of really stripped down dubstep, techno, house, influenced by the Middle East. I don't know how to describe it otherwise, and it's super tense, effective, and it comes from, unfortunately, kind of the center of the world right now. Next show record people would be surprised that you got in 2023. So I think I showed it when I got it, and this is Shirley and Dolly Collins, which is Shirley Collins with her sister. It's an album from the 70s on the EMI, and it's just like wonderful, whimsical British folk music. Very folky. And I guess she got on my radar first when she had a comeback album a few years back with the guy, two of the guys from Cyclob, formerly of Coil, and that album was released on Domino, I think. It was alright, but I didn't really like it, to be honest, despite the connection that is dear to me. I thought it was alright, but nothing special. This is much better. So I've been collecting Shirley Collins records ever since that, since I dug deep, and I don't talk about it that often, but that one was a really big find for me this year. Show a record you got in 2023 thanks to the VC. Well, I have to thank César, who I met through originally the OBC. César in the US, in North Carolina, I believe, who, sharing just what was playing on his turntable, got me intrigued with Osawa Tome, which is Zeke Grave's Appalachian space music project. It's basically the music that is focused on the Appalachian banjo tuning, recontextualized, or not necessarily modernized, but adapted to avant-garde music. So he went to a cabin, a bit like Lamont Young in his early days, and recorded this banjo record with synthesizers, and it's really cool. It's a fun record, interesting. Also, yeah, nice seal screen cover, or letterpressed, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the difference between the two. Yeah, and next, show a record from your teens you got, or that you upgraded to vinyl in 2023. At first, I thought I would show this, Medicine's first album, Shot for Self-Living, which I got this year. I bought this on CD back then, and I did an interview with Brad Lehner, the frontman of Medicine, earlier this year. You can see that on my channel. And yeah, it's great, but really a record I haven't given enough love online on this channel is this one, the self-titled Spoonfed Hybrid, which is Jan Masters of the Pale Saints, and the frontman of AC Temple, a noise rock band from the late 80s. And this is superb sugar pop, post-shoegaze, sugar pop in a way. This is just like a jewel record, like something you look at the details. And they only did a 7-inch on this. And yeah, this is quite the elusive record. I've been after it for quite some time, actively for a few years, and this was the year I jumped the gun, because I was listening to this a lot when I was a teen, and but CD, I had never seen the vinyl version of it, and then the CD disappeared. I lost it somehow, and I kind of forgot a little bit about it. But with my renewed interest in the Pale Saints, well, there you go. Next, show a favorite cover sleeve you got in 2023. Not necessarily a record from 2023, because that's not what I'm going to show. So for some reason, this design is perfect for me. First, it's an avant-garde record of Giuseppe Mochi, Raflus. It's so they still letterpressed all the print, the typo, and then hand painted the cover, which is both avant-garde and also a technique that you see in punk or in techno sometimes when they don't have a big budget to do a cover art, but they want to do something special, so they do something unique. And I don't know, the combination of colors, the abstract painting, which is maybe nothing, with the combination of the calligraphy and this weird, like, oscillator screen, whatever it is. Yeah, and it's signed by the artist. This is from 1988, 89, I believe. And the music is fantastic, but really, for some reason, this design, however amateur it could be perceived as, for me, it's perfect. Next, show a band you wish didn't release an album in 2023. Where for me, they released 2. Basically, a band or artist I love, that either I'm over what they do, or they disappointed, or both. In this case, it's kind of both. It's the collaboration between Panda Beer and Sonic Boom. I know, I hyped the album on a video with Michael before the album was released. Because when I first heard the combination of the two, I love Panda Beer, I love Sonic Boom. Well, when I first heard the combination of the two, I thought, this is really nice, this is perfect, this is a meeting made in heaven. And then the album was released, and all the tracks were a little bit too similar to my taste. And I realized, it's a bit too sugary. I know. That was one of the qualities of the spoon-fed hybrid, but in this case it was too much. And then I remember that the very last Sonic Boom solo album from a few years back on Car Park, I really didn't like. I thought it was too naive, too one note. And so now that was a disappointment. They could have salvaged it, since they just released recently a dub version of that album. Adrian Sherwood doing dub remixes of the whole album. Unfortunately, not really doing it for me. So no, even if I like some of the Rolling Stones, Panda Beer with Sonic Boom were a bigger non-factor for me. Next, show record you got as a present or VCLT in 2023. I was lucky to get quite a few very nice VCLTs this year from various people. I've showed most of them during my streams. There's some I reserve for special videos I'm planning. One with Paul Dolden, the Canadian composer the idea to do an interview with him was spawned from a VCLT, from a very special person from my streams. You know who you are. But I think it was last year, or like in 2022, Harris Pilton showed or talked about a record that he liked but didn't like too much that he had, and he thought like, I could do without it. And I told him, well, I'm off of that record. And a few months later, here it was, Slint, Spiderland, first pressing, with a little tear here that I had to hand draw to to imagine how the cover would look like. Slint, post-rock, post-hardcore band, like from my youth as well, but still an album that I enjoy listening to. So thank you, Harris Hilton, which is not his real name. Surprise. Next, and we're getting towards the end, name a VC channel that showed a record in 2023 that you are jealous of. Man, when Dom, Seeking a Thread, a few months back did a video where I'm not sure he named the artist, but he played the music in the background, and I was like, you bastard. So Dom got one of my absolute biggest quests, grails, which is an album by Harold Budd on Advance Records. And it's not a cheap record. He didn't get it for cheap, but I think he got it for the right price. So congrats to him. Go check his channel if you haven't done so before. Seeking a Thread. And I hope that 2024 will kill my jealousy of you, Dom, by providing a copy of that record for myself, which is not a given. It's a very, very rare and limited and desirable record. So, bravo, Dom. Then, show a record that you bought because a credit or a connection that is not the main artist. So I'm going to show a band that I got a bunch of records of theirs 30 years ago when I was discovering music and reading lists, articles, and seeking stuff that on paper is interesting to me. And that band had lots of contributors that were really interesting, and the records were boring to me. So I ended up selling them. But they did a CD single that could have been interesting for me, but I don't buy CDs anymore. I discovered that like 5, 6, 7 years ago. And then I realized, actually it exists on vinyl. It's just that it hasn't been well entered on Discogs. If you look at the CD version, you got the information that is interesting to me. The vinyl doesn't have it. This is the Golden Palominos. No Skin, featuring remixes by Bendaloo and Ter Tamnitz. I love both Ter Tamnitz and Bendaloo. Bendaloo is this techno artist. Ter Tamnitz is this avant-garde post-club artist, transgender. But what's really special about that record is that the Ter Tamnitz remix, cover, whatever, is actually using lots of sounds from Coil, which obviously is a big favorite of mine. So this is a remix of Golden Palominos, where there's barely anything left from Golden Palominos into my ears, with a lot of wonderful Coil music inside it. It's a long track as well, and it's a dirt cheap record. So that's what I meant by a connection or a credit, but it could be anything. Just a record you would not have sought out, the name of the band or the musician you don't know, but because someone you like, someone you love, produced it, played the saxophone on the track or something, just put that record on your map. This is why that record was on my map. And now, question number 12. An artist you hope to see a new album or reissue from in 2024. So I'm going to show an artist that has really rocked my world this past couple of years, which is Romance, here with Dean Hurley, who is the main music collaborator of David Lynch. Romance does this wonderful hypnagogic ambient pop music, and he couldn't do no wrong this year, apart from the fact that he did wrong. He did an album under his name that was much less interesting than the 3 other records he released this year. So I hope that next year we're gonna see either reissues of his 2 first cassettes or new wonderful music by him. No one really knows who he is. He just goes by the name of Romance. And yeah, I hope for more from him, because it has been some of the most exciting new music to me. I also hope we get more Bernard Parmigiani archival recordings. These came out a few years ago, 3-4 years ago. There's so much stuff of his that has only been released on CD, so I really hope to get to that. And lastly, show a band record that you want to spend more time investigating and listening to in 2024. So I had to also to just go with 2. First, one band that I have almost everything I want from him, but I need to spend more time with Toru Takemitsu. Japanese modern classical avant-garde movie soundtrack composer. I got about like 20 records of him. There's maybe a couple that would be nice for me to get as well. And sometimes that's why, when I know there's like a couple of more that I'm missing, that's why I have the records. I listen to them when I get them, but before I go and do a real deep dive into it, I'm waiting for these 2 last records. But really, I shouldn't wait and just spend more time with these records. But really, the more active part of my collecting right now, Iancu Dumitrescu is really the artist I want to spend more time listening to in 2024. I spent a lot of time already in 2023, but I don't know how I could exhaust the potential for me of inspiration. And there's a lot of records he's affiliated to that I'm still missing, that I hope to get next year. So Iancu Dumitrescu, which is one of the main post-adjacent spectral music composer. He's from Romania. He did a bunch of records in the US or in France, but most of his output is from Romania. So that was my vinyl tag 2024. If you feel this is fun, hop on board. Doesn't mean that you can't do the other vinyl tags. I won't send a hitman to you. I won't talk shit about you. But so there it is. Happy New Year to everyone. Even what do I mean by even? Happy New Year to everyone. Bonne année à tous, and go Vinyl Tag 2024. Bye bye. Bye.